Election officials across Texas are dealing with large voter turnout. The polls opened after a strong early voting period in which nearly 5 million people cast a ballot. The competitive Senate race is between Republican incumbent Ted Cruz and Democratic challenger Beto O'Rourke. Correspondent Wyatt Goolsby joins us from his hometown of Houston, where the Cruz campaign is setting up for their watch party tonight. Good evening, Wyatt.
Good evening, Lauren. Both Ted Cruz here in Houston and Beto O'Rourke, who is in El Paso, are both confident they'll win. Now, Senator Cruz believed he received a recent bump after President Trump arrived for a rally here in Houston, and yet O'Rourke still believes he has a solid chance to upend the incumbent. Senator Ted Cruz and Congressman Beto O'Rourke making a last-minute push for votes. O'Rourke, who cast his ballot in El Paso today, is defying the odds in the country's largest red state.
We just met a young man at El Paso Community College right now, just finished voting, and said, you're the first person I ever voted for. So it feels good. The 46-year-old remains the charismatic underdog, and his campaign has drawn support from across the country. According to the Federal Election Commission, O'Rourke has raised $70.2 million, while Ted Cruz has raised $33.4 million. O'Rourke notes he has not taken any money from political action committees, known as PACs. Senator Ted Cruz is fighting back.
When it comes to taxes, he wants higher taxes. When it comes to regulations, job-killing regulations that hammers the state of Texas, he wants higher regulations.
Cruz is playing to his conservative base, playing up the state's growing economy and the need for strong borders.
Beto O'Rourke is more extreme than he wants you to know. Not even Nancy Pelosi is open to abolishing ICE, but Beto is.
The Cruz campaign using ads to paint O'Rourke as a radical. Meanwhile, Texas Right to Life has urged pro-lifers not to vote for O'Rourke, who identifies as Catholic. The group calls him pro-abortion and says he has a 100% lifetime rating by NARAL and Planned Parenthood Action Fund. Cruz has tried to court Catholics and other people of faith by laying out a pro-life message and supporting traditional marriage. O'Rourke is a vocal supporter of same-sex marriage. Ron Milio, a Catholic construction contractor in Houston, says often neither political party perfectly lines up with the church. He's pro-life, but believes immigrants are often ignored by politicians on both sides.
For 30 years, we have ignored the hardworking, hourly, lower educated, hardworking individuals who had tried to support and educate their families for the betterment of supplying benefits and stuff for others. There has to be a better balance than what we've had for the 35 years.
One of the many important issues on Texans' minds as they head to the voting booth. We've continued to follow this throughout both recent weeks and recent months in terms of the polls, and they really vary by a wide margin. Right now, we're looking at a Real Clear Politics average, having Ted Cruz up right now about 6.8%. Lauren?
Wyatt, Cruz and President Trump were at each other's throats during the 2016 presidential election. Trump has gone to Texas, as you mentioned, to campaign for his former rival. How much do people say that is helping Cruz in this tight race?
Well, to be honest, Lauren, it's unclear right now as to how much statistically it's helping Cruz. Again, as we say, Cruz believes it was a big help to have President Trump come to Houston and rally in his favor. President Trump had promised to do this despite the fact that, as you mentioned, they had a tense political rival and had made that promise back in August that he would come and rally in support of Ted Cruz. In addition, in a statement on the 2020 re-election of President Trump, he also said he's looking forward to celebrating the growing economy here in Texas as well. Lauren?
He's not lying, Ted, anymore, the president said. He's beautiful, Ted. All right, Correspondent Wyatt Goolsby reporting from Ted Cruz watch party in Houston.